last night on Listen to Your Heart.
And you're kind and you're thoughtful and you're always such a delight to have around.
Thanks, Larry. That's nice.
Goodbye, Anne. I have enjoyed parts of our time together.
Oh, God, Ron.
That was really something.
The Bachelor Presents Listen to Your Heart has come to an end. The competition that promised to be the love child of The Bachelor and A Star is Born. And while this show has had its faults, there's a part of me that's grown attached to Listen to Your Heart over these past 6 weeks. Kind of like a strange robotic killing machine that you've somehow come to love against all odds. But just like all strange robotic killing machines, at some point, it has to come to an end. But enough of the sentiment. I have thoughts on the show as a whole I'll be discussing at a later date. For now, there's a recap to get to. And our final 3 couples have arrived in Nashville for the final performance. So, who's gonna win? Will it be Chris and Bri, the unflappable duo who profess their love for each other on their first date?
I mean, honestly, it's crazy that I've fallen for somebody as quickly as I have for Bri.
Will it be Matt and Rudi, who got off to a rocky start?
You look so good.
I'm just gonna cut you off so you don't waste your breath.
But last week delivered, in my opinion, the strongest performance of the season. Or will it be Trevor and Jamie, who had some drama early on in the show?
I've definitely had trust issues after everything that happened with Trevor and his ex. Honestly, cheating is a deal breaker for me.
But since then have been on an upward swing. So Chris Harrison meets up with our final 3 to fill them in on how this last week will be going down. Each couple is going to be performing 2 songs this time. But more importantly, Chris Harrison wants these couples to deepen their connection even more with the final date, and then, well, it wouldn't be a Bachelor show without this.
Because at the end of the date, there will be a fantasy suite card.
Yeah, for this finale, Chris Harrison is demanding it all. Performance chemistry, romantic connection, and most importantly, commitment.
And as always, listen to your heart.
Yeah, you always say that. So the gang all heads to their hotel suite where they now receive the 2 songs they'll be performing for the finale. But Chris Harrison's words about commitment and being in the right place as a couple has been ringing in Matt's ears, especially as he looks over at Trevor and Jamie and Chris and Bri's reactions to receiving their songs.
I just don't know if I'm at that same point. I don't know if we're at that same point as them.
And the excitement of making it to Nashville and the finale is quickly being drained out of the room as Matt continues to ponder over if his relationship with Rudi is ready for this final performance. So while Chris and Bri and Trevor and Jamie are getting lots of time to go over their songs and plan for the future, Matt wanders pensively around a hallway and Rudi does a reenactment of my 2020 experience so far. Matt then grabs Rudi for a sit-down. It's time to discuss moving forward in this competition.
Getting to sing with you has literally been the best musical experience of my life.
Oh no, that's the start of a breakup. I've seen enough rom-coms to know where this is going.
Hearing all that stuff from Chris Harrison and looking at Bri and Chris and Trevor and Jamie and where they're at.
So Matt says he doesn't think their relationship is at the same place as the other couples, and I'm like,
What are you doing? I can't do this. It was horrifying. Just go back out there and fake it. No, I don't even know how to do that. Come on.
But yeah, it's better that he's not doing something disingenuous, and he says he doesn't want to string Rudi along and have her eventually resent him. Rudi, however, says she knows they aren't at a Chris and Bri or Trevor and Jamie level, but that they're here for a reason, and nothing that they've done so far has been faked. So why give up now? But Matt has come to his decision. He can't move forward. And just like that, the final 3 has become the final 2. Matt and Rudi hit the back of the limo, and this sentiment from Matt is really what hits it on the head when it comes to how I'm feeling about his dumping of Rudi.
Bothers me that I took a little bit of that away from her to go get to perform again and let people hear her sing.
And what sucks even more about this is that, in my opinion, the strongest ending for the show would have been Matt and Rudi, the best performers still left in the show, versus Chris and Bri, the strongest romantic connection. Now, it just feels like an easy ending. No offense, Trevor and Jamie. So, it's time for these 2 to head out on their fantasy suite date to try and up their romantic chemistry and to give us, the audience, more of a reason to believe they could potentially win this thing. And I gotta say, as someone who's been self-isolating for a while now, this was just beautiful to watch. I mean, look at how much cheese is on that charcuterie board. Oh, and yeah, these two are apparently also saying a lot of lovey-dovey things to each other.
Each performance, I've seen you become stronger and stronger, and you're a strong woman, and I'm so proud of you.
Naturally, Trevor and Jamie accept their fantasy suite card and hit the bed, stronger than ever. Next up is Chris and Bri. And once again, in order to make this thing a little more dramatic, there's going to be some last-minute drama thrown in.
I just feel like Chris and I are solid, but sometimes that worries me.
And this statement feels a lot more dramatic than it actually is. It's incredibly common for couples, especially newly in love couples, to worry that things are going a little bit too well. Like, why aren't we fighting? Isn't it normal for people to have fights? Or, normally by now something bad has happened. Stuff like that may seem silly, but it's common. Not to mention, there's a fantasy suite coming up.
I take physical intimacy very seriously, so it comes down to him, you know, being okay with that.
And this becomes the primary topic of conversation. Well, after all the gushy love things, of course.
Like, you're a future that I'm just barely scared of and just incredibly excited for.
So, the fantasy suite card comes out, and the two decide to forego it.
We will not be going to the fantasy suite.
No fantasy suite.
Both have agreed that they don't want to rush the physical side of things. And I'm sitting here like, you know, you don't have to have sex in the fantasy suite, right? Anyways, the night ends, and it's time for the final day and the all-important last performance. And while Jamie and Trevor are feeding each other and doing their best Lady and the Tramp impression, but you know, with a donut, Chris and Bri are busy rehearsing for their performance, and the editors are busy trying to make it seem like there could be some trouble for these two.
Let's stop right there.
And then it's time to get to that final show so we can crown a winner of this thing. Now, the judges for this finale are going to be Bachelor power couple Caitlin and Jason, Taye Diggs, Jewel, and Rita Wilson, who has some advice for the couples.
You have to strip naked, make beautiful intercourse, and leave with baby.
Did that seem edited to you? So, this is it. The judges are going to name a winner right here, right after these two perform. Now, it's something of a Bachelor law that whoever comes out first on a finale is the one who's going to be sent packing. So, will this translate to tonight's performances? First out to sing their two songs are Trevor and Jamie. And honestly, this fell flat. Like, these two were just swaying there with the romantic chemistry of two people at their high school prom.
I like your sleeves. They're real big.
And the second song was basically the same, but this time Trevor took his jacket off. And when it came to the judging, honestly, I wasn't expecting any sort of criticism, because, you know, it's the finale, but Taye Diggs does handsome out.
I wanted to see more of you kind of independent. Don't be afraid to just stand and sing.
As for Caitlin, she's got a question to ask these two about how close they've gotten so far.
Do you do fantasy suites on this show? Because you guys need to get there.
They may have gotten a card for me.
Oh.
She then kind of backtracks after this, saying, well, I was thinking you either need to get there or you've already gone there. But I'm thinking she was actually about to say, you guys need to spend some time alone because you look distracted. But nope, fantasy suite already happened. Okay though, it's now time for Chris and Bri. Will they falter or will they hit it home? Yeah, this one is done, and they haven't even got to their last song yet, which is going to be Gimme Love by Ed Sheeran. And one thing of note is that this has been the song of the show. On every preview, the climax has been Chris and Bri singing this. Which should tell you everything you need to know about who have been the centerpiece of this season, and where this is all leading. And you don't need me to tell you at this point that they're about to get full marks from the judges. Or that these two can perform and share a genuine love that just hasn't been matched on this season. Or that when it comes to announce the winner, it goes down like this.
Chris and Bri!
And there it is. Chris and Bri win Listen to Your Heart, a record deal, and each other. They head off into their tour bus, they accept each other's final rose, and you know what it's time for.
Intercourse.
No. These two will be recording an album. And we end Listen to Your Heart on this message. So that is it for this recap on the finale of Listen to Your Heart. I hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed watching along with me over these past 6 weeks. And I know this Bachelor off-season is going to be the longest one ever, but there's still lots of content on the way, including the Best Seasons Recap special coming in June, and other non-Bachelor content as well. So be sure to subscribe and keep tuned for more, and until then, Bachelor Fantake, out.